Welcome everyone to the Lofi Poli Sci podcast. I'm your host, Michael Pickering. That's right, Lo-Fi's and low fidelity, low quality, in your face, messy as can be global news show. Here we're going to talk about that famous question, what's going on in the world today? I hope everyone's ready. It's Messy Monday. Messy Monday's weekend recap will bring you 10 fast-paced headlines from across the globe, and then a piece of humanity to send you on your way for the week. And as per usual, planet Earth got more than a bit messy this weekend. The news, fresh off the press. The following three stories all come from AP News International. We begin with the internet and the U.S. Trump says he'll act to ban TikTok in the U.S. as soon as Saturday. You may have heard this Friday, and you may have heard Microsoft was in talks to purchase U.S. holdings of TikTok, but this is all still very much up in the air. We'll have to see how this plays out during the week, though TikTok assures its peeps they are here to stay. Now we stay online but move to Venezuela. Facebook bows to Brazil judge, blocks 12 accounts worldwide. Sheesh, I know everyone lately has been crying foul about censorship online, but when a private company makes a personal choice not to allow information on its own platform, that's a private matter. However, when a government does that, now that's censorship. However, these 12 individuals were connected to disinformation about a certain global happening of the day, and the court wanted them taken down globally. P.S. President Bolsonaro is pissed. Now we're off to an update in Russian protest. Thousands in Russia's Far East protest governor's arrest. That's right, now for 3 weeks these protests have been going strong, and have been allowed to take place, mostly unhindered. Although reports are coming in that other smaller protests took place in other cities, where at least 50 people were arrested. Is this a potential sign of what's to come for the larger protest as well? Write in, Lo-Fi Nation, let me know your thoughts. Our following 4 stories all come from Reuters World News. We begin with a story in India. Indian police crackdown on illegal liquor suppliers after 86 died. This tragic story follows another report from Friday that stated 10 people have died from consuming alcohol derived from hand sanitizer. Bootlegging has increased in recent weeks, as consumers were unable to purchase legal forms of alcohol. We'll keep you updated as this story continues to develop. Now we move back to Venezuela. Venezuela's major opposition party pledges to boycott December election. Elections for the National Assembly are scheduled to take place, but the main opposition that controls the assembly will not be taking part. This puts self-proclaimed interim President Guaido in a difficult position, as he's president of the National Assembly, which gave him the power to proclaim himself president of the country. If the opposition loses the majority, and Guaido his position, it will be unclear if Western countries will continue to back his claim. Now to the Middle East, with another president that is pissed off. The story. Israel's Netanyahu condemns protest against him, criticizes media. That's right, now protests against the Prime Minister are continuing for another week, and he doesn't like it. They are calling for his resignation over dealing with, well, everything. And of course, as all presidents do, he tells them they are wrong. Except for President Putin of Russia. We all know what he does to protesters, usually. Now we move forward because we never move on from anything, to Latin America. Mexico nabs El Mauro, fuel theft king, blamed for surge in drug violence. El Mauro is the leader of the Santa Rosa de Lima cartel, and is not only blamed for narco-trafficking and violence, but the theft of oil from major pipelines in the country. As many people may not be aware, Mexico is a large exporter of oil, and has had major issues with people stealing that oil directly from their pipelines. The government hopes this will send a strong message to cartels everywhere in the country. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on this story, listeners. And our last 3 stories all come from the BBC, Middle East, Technology, and Africa sections, respectively. To the Middle East we return. Baraka, UAE starts up Arab world's first nuclear plant. The country is rich in oil, but is diversifying its energy economy with nuclear and solar power. This new nuclear plant is going to produce about 25% of the country's electricity, although several countries in the region are eyeballing this with quite a bit of skepticism. We'll keep you updated on why that may be throughout the week, Lo-Fi Nation. Now back to the internet and the U.S. Twitter bans ex-KKK leader David Duke. Remember that previous conversation about government censorship? Well, this is not that. This is a private company making a choice about what information it wants to provide to its consumers, aka users, on its own platform. Twitter has permanently banned Duke for continued violations of its hateful conduct rules. He was also banned from YouTube earlier this month. And remember, this isn't censorship. This is simply one person saying to another, "You can't play with my toys anymore." And a final piece of news to send you on your way for the week. To space and Egypt we go. Egypt tells Elon Musk its pyramids were not built by aliens. And before you ask, yes, really. Elon Musk tweeted out that aliens obviously built the pyramids, and now the Egyptian Minister of International Cooperation has offered him to tour the sites himself to see that people obviously built the pyramids. This raises at least 3 interesting questions, as we've just launched 3 missions to Mars, one of which seeking life. First, do aliens really exist? Which is another way of saying, are we really alone in the vastness of space? Second, if aliens do exist, have they ever visited Earth? And thirdly, if they have visited Earth, what kind of legacy did they leave behind, like the pyramids? I'm not touching this one, Lo-Fi Nation. I leave that to you and your friends this week. And that's a brief snapshot of what's going on in the world today. Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode of Tuesday's Top 10. Always remember that Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. It's the we that we be. Write in with questions or comments to lofipolisci@planetmail.com. Thanks for listening. Stay safe, wash those hands, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Lofi Poli Sci podcast. Pickering, signing off.